nice class here of fall heifer calves. A number of different things you can do. We have a number of different breeds out here in different sizes and kinds. So kind of depending on what you want to emphasize, I think you could justify placing this class a number of different ways. Heifer leads off the class. She came in right there at the end, and kind of glad to see her come in. I mean, there's some good heifers in there, but I think she kind of separates herself from the other heifers, just really made nice in terms of her balance and her eye appeal and quality. And you evaluate her from the side, and at the same time, she's kind of a stout-featured heifer. It's got a lot of substance, a lot of doability to her, and she looks like she's very sound and free-moving when we put her in motion. From there, I think then the class is more give and take, and not to say they're not good heifers, but they're just excel in different areas or things that we'd like to change. The heifer I use in second, really big bodied, real deep bodied kind of female, you know, just got a lot to her all the way through. You know, at this stage of the game, a heifer's not even a year old yet. You know, we'd sure like to probably clean her up in terms of her condition, change the way she's made up through her front end. She just wants to get a little shorter and chuffier up through her front. We really appreciate the depth of body, the durability, the mass that this heifer presents. And yet, you know, she's also one that's very sound and free moving. The shorthorn heifer, I switched those two. I had her in second. You know, this heifer's a little leaner and greener in terms of the condition that she comes to us, which in my opinion is a good thing at this stage of the game from a maturity standpoint. Heifer's made really nice from the side. She's not as deep bodied. There's probably maybe for sure both heifers on both sides of her. But I think for a young female at this stage of maturity, she's got enough depth to rib. You get behind this heifer, she's got some substance and some natural thickness down her top and back to her hip. Very feminine, very angular and kind. So I like her. I think as we try to progress her down the road, you know, she's a female that will get better with time, and I think in time she would probably be placed over the heifer that preceded her in this class. The Angus heifer or black heifer that comes next, you know, she's got more depth of body, a little bit more mass maybe than the heifer that just went out, the shorthorn female. But I think I'm gonna get right behind these females. This heifer's not quite as stout, not quite as wide, not quite as square in the way she's designed in her hip. But we appreciate her in terms of length of body, length of hip. She's sure a feminine front and very refined female that's also got some practice and freedom of movement. This we got the maintainer heifer, the smoky heifer coming next. She's a different kind. And you know, if you prefer kind of a more moderate type or what I would call a kind of chunkier type, then you know, you could justify running this heifer up the class quite a way. She's got a lot of quality to her. She's really stout made, just a real stout featured, heavy boned, heavy muscled, stout made female. For me, you know, at this stage of the game, she's, you know, again, the moderate thing can be both an advantage and disadvantage. You know, I just see her as I try to progress her down the road. I don't see quite as much future in her as I do in some of these other ones, but I appreciate her in terms of her natural thickness and her stoutness and the power that she possesses. Same for the shorthorn heifer coming next, a little more moderate kind. You know, I would describe them as a clubbier kind, good or bad or indifferent. I don't know if that's the correct way to describe it, but that's the way I describe them. We appreciate her in terms of balance as we try to project her down the road. I think from a frame standpoint, performance standpoint, not that I like big cattle, but I think cattle need to have an adequate amount of performance because all of them are going to eventually get sold by the town unless they die on us. And that's not very economical. So we still need to have performance in cattle. I like the things that she has in terms of stoutness as a progressor down the road. I think she's going to give up a lot of performance weight per day of age to some of the other heifers in the class. The Baldy heifer that closes the class, and she does have more frame. She's got more go from a performance standpoint down the road as we compare the two that just went out. I think though today, you know, she's a female just a little more shallow in terms of her rib. Doesn't have quite the doability of those. Young ladies done a nice job presenting her though, and we compliment her in that respect. Good. Let's put our hands together and congratulate themselves.
Your winner of your senior female calf class was Mandy Pacheco, Chaparral 4-H. Second Second went to Jenna Lee, Edna 4-H. Third went to Mallori Seifert, Templeton 4-H. Fourth went to Leanna Newby, Edna 4-H. Fifth went to Jan Scantlin from Templeton FFA. Sixth place went to Will Stroud, Templeton 4-H. And seventh went to Shelby Scantlin, Pine Mountain 4-H. Our next class is Summer Yearling Females.